I'm going to explain to you how to train your characters in Umamasume so that you can get higher ranks. You get B+, always get career mode done, eventually start getting A's and A+, and stuff as you get better support cards and as you get lucky runs. The first thing to know about it, though, is it is like all luck. All we're trying to do is control the luck and make like the greatest odds possible to get a high rank. No matter what you do, no matter what your strategy is, if you get bad events in a career, you can't get an A or anything, no matter what. It's impossible, especially early on like we are right now after launch of the global version. So the most important thing in this game for getting high ranks on your trainees is the support cards. Support cards are more important than rolling for the actual trainees. So you're going to want to slowly get these as you get your, I would just call them carrots. I don't know how they're supposed to be pronounced, but as you get those, you buy support cards primarily. You only unlock the trainees just to unlock the different career modes to play. The most important things are going to be support cards, sparks, and then strategizing. And the strategizing where it gets really complicated. But the support cards, you really need to understand these things. And there's so much nuance to it. You could spend forever looking through support cards and picking them. Now, generally, some support cards are just better than others. So, for example, Twin Turbo, not the best in the game, but if you have it and an SSR like I do, it's pretty good. And one of the reasons is because there's the actual career events that you don't even get to see here, that it has a bunch of them that will let you refresh your energy, which is one of the biggest things, or just free speed. Like there's different ones come with different career events that once you learn them all, it's just like you can build out a certain way to get certain things towards, like you don't have to rest as often, which means you get more turns, which means just statistically you're more likely to be able to get more stats. But the other thing that's even more important than that, though, is these different stats on them. So generally the most important things: friendship bonus, mood effect, and specialty priority. Those are going to be your biggest things. Initial friendship gauge is also pretty big, and then fan bonus is kind of nice. So you like, because fan bonus is nice if like you don't get first in a race because of just bad luck. It says you're going to get first, then you get 16th. I'm sure you've all had that happen. It's just ridiculous sometimes. So then it's like it's easier to make up that race, save yourself a turn. It's everything you can do to try to milk out another turn or two out of the game, basically. But the thing is the mood effect and friendship bonus. So friendship bonus, we'll get into more, you might already know, but the mood effect is actually, in a way, it's more important than friendship bonus. So in this game, your character has a mood, which you've probably seen. It's normal, bad, awful, good, great. And what that does is gives you a 10% bonus on your training, or 20% bonus on your training, or -10, -20. Well, the mood effect increases that. So this mood effect, 30%, if you are in a great mood, that's plus 20% to all your training gains. This 30% is on that 20%. So it turns 20% gains into, I think, like 26% gains or something like that. So if you get enough of these cards, what will end up happening is, even though this is like, say, a power card, you could be training wit, and if this card's lined up with it, and like 4 cards are lined up with it, and they all have mood effect, then your wit training is going to go from 15 to like 24, even though none of them are wit cards. So like that's another thing just to get raw stats. Friendship bonuses, once you train them enough and then their bar turns orange, which I'll show you in the career mode, then you get the bonus there. So those stack. And so like if they have good friendship bonus and mood effect, then you'll hopefully get lucky sometimes, and you'll have like 3 cards all in the same one. They're all speed. They're all in the same one. And you're in a great mood, and you get like 58 speed or something on a single training session. Like that can actually happen, and that's a huge way to be able to get more stats. And then the specialty priority just makes them more likely to appear for the stat they are. So like, this power one, or no, sorry, stamina one, it makes it so it's more likely that the stamina one is on the stamina training, so you can actually get the friendship bonus. So that's really huge. So the other thing is in the details, and this is less important than the stats. The most important thing, especially early when you're picking from the bottom of the barrel with what card you rolled from the pools, the most important thing is going to be the friendship bonus, mood bonus, specialty priority. But if you're really min-maxing and you have all the cards in the game, then you have more options, and then you'll start looking into details for the skills. And you'll be like, okay, does this character have skills that matter for the career I'm doing? Like if I'm doing a sprinter and it has all skills for long races, then if I have another choice that has good friendship bonus and stuff, I'd rather get the one that gives me skills that are actually applicable to the class I'm playing. So that way I don't get unlucky with some race somewhere and then just lose it, because then you just lose the career mode and then it's all for nothing. And the next thing for training better characters is the spark system. So I'm going to go a whole video for sparks. I don't want to spend 10 minutes explaining it here, but basically you want to get lineages that have the stats that you're going to be training. So mainly you're going to be wanting to train speed, power, or stamina. Those are usually your main ones. Sometimes you can kind of cheese it by training wit and speed, depending on the character, if you want to go that route. But it's not really good for PvP at that point. It's just purely for getting an A rank, just to get an A rank, but it's kind of not that great. But so if you're like, say, trying to train speed to 1200 during, career, then ideally you want sparks where it's 2 or 3 star speed with parents that are speed. So your parent will be speed, and then the grandparents will be speed, speed, speed. So like this one here is speed, speed, but the one on top was wit. So while you're playing, like I was currently in my game, I'm actually at a point where I'm doing that, and I'm going to the career mode with Sakura Bakushin, and I already have a 2-star speed from Hararu Arara, and I have a 2-star speed from Uguri Cap. And so I'm trying to, if I pick those as the parents, and then I'm running races with Sakura, and then when I finally get a 2 or 3-star speed on Sakura, then I've got one lineage down that's good for speed. But there's also elements like compatibility, so like you definitely want compatibility, and there's a whole calculator for that online that I'll probably have in a different video. So that's a whole thing just to keep in mind, because if you can get a bunch of stats to start off, that's that much easier to get to the stat threshold to get a higher training rank. The other big thing when picking these careers is you go to the details for one of these characters, and they have growth rate. And this is specific for each character. So Sakura Bakushin, for example, has plus 20% to all speed gains from training and 10% to wit. So she's a really good card for cheesing it with trying to do the speed wit strategy with your support cards. And speaking of support cards, one of the support cards you've taken has to come from a person that you're following. So one of the ways you can do it, you go to team trials under the races tab, and you just do one of these races, and afterwards you'll have all this UI here, and there'll be a button here. You can click this, and you can go to a leaderboard, and you can go to all of them, and this will be like the top people right now on the servers, and you go in here and you can see all their characters and stuff like that, and you can click right here in order to bring up their profile, and if you can follow, like this account has maximum number of followers, so you have to look for someone that it'll let you follow, but then you can look for them and see if they have some really good card that you can follow for, like say for this one for Wiz, a level 35. This is one way. I'm going to show you the other way in a second to get this. The other thing is their archive level, and you go to details, and it shows their Hall of Fame legacies and stuff. And you can go in here to find cards that have 2 or 3 star inspirations. This person has power 2 and power 3 on this one. You can borrow these when training in the or when your legacies, when you start a career and you pick your legacies, you can borrow them, I think 3 times a day. So this is where you can get really, like, you can basically shop for borrowed legacies in order to get a head start on building out your Sparks system for your training. The other way is you can go to the Friends tab. And in the Friends tab, what you can do is go to Recommended and then set it by uncapped level is what I usually do. And then you can hit the refresh button, and you can look through all these ones and try to find one that's like, say, this one. And here's a level 40 of Fine Motion, which I'm actually gonna follow this one because I think my currently was a level 35. I can't remember. So that was like a wit one, and then you can keep refreshing this until you find one for whatever you're looking for. You're like, oh, I only have 2 good speed ones. I want the 3rd speed to be the borrowed one. I've got all the cards taken care of. I just need a speed one. You can look through here until you find that good speed one for training, and then you can fill out your 6th one with something really good. So it's really important to decide what are your long-term goals. What are you trying to achieve? Like if you're just trying to get an A rank right now, this is like second, then it's going to be building out Sparks and rolling for more support cards so that you can level them up higher, stuff like that, and then also down to the minute strategies. The long-term play, like multi-week, multi-month, multi-year, is building out your Sparks and your legacies so that you can more easily get consistent, A+ and S's and stuff like that later on. Okay, so let's go through the strategies now. Okay, so I'm going to spend a little bit here on strategy. So let's do a Sakura Bakushin, and then for her, I've got an Uguri Cap who has some speed 2 stars, and then we have the Hara Raru, and she has some stuff for speed as well, and then that also gives a circle affinity. So right now in the beginning, you're not always going to be able to get the double circle affinity, but that's based on like character compatibility. Like all these characters, they all add points to the affinity, and that's a whole different thing. I'll make a whole video on that, but this is an alright start. Cool. Okay, so I'm going to do a bunch of speed. Now, the support cards you're going to bring are going to be based on what are you trying to do. So if you're just trying to get A rank and stuff, it depends on the character, but generally you're always going to want 2 to 3 speed cards, if not 4 speed cards. Speed's the most important stat in the game for winning races. Followed by stamina and power. Stamina is like a minimum requirement. You have to have a minimum amount of stamina no matter what, depending on the race. And then power allows you to pass more easily. And then guts is like a backup stamina that's not really worth getting generally. And then wit just makes things more consistent and stuff and makes your skills activate more. And it actually does count a lot towards the statistics of you winning a race. So for trying to get like an A rank on this character, you'll do one of 2 things. Generally, it's better to have only 2 stats you're going for if you can help it. For some careers, it's a little bit harder to pull that off because to get a higher rank, it's all about hitting the highest stats possible. You want 1200 speed and 1200 power, or 1200 speed, 1200 stamina. That's how you get higher rank. If you have 800, 800, 800, 500, 500, you'll get way less, even if the stats are higher total, than if you have 2 stats that are super high. So you really just want to get, like, you know, my case, I was trying to cheese this one with the speed and the wit and see if I get lucky that way. But no matter what you do, luck is still a huge factor. You still have to rely on luck, and it's just going to be run after run after run to get a new high score. But this character gets plus 20 speed, plus 20% wit, so I do 3 and 3 or 4 and 2, so I'm going to use this borrowed card that's level 40 and start the career. You can see I started with plus 41 speed. So the speed ones are nice. If I had 3 sparks for speed on all the parents and grandparents, I mean, you start off with like plus 80 speed or something, plus 100, and the compatibility was high. I mean, you can get to where it's like, bam, I just start off with like 300 speed or something eventually. So that's why you want to build up the sparks. So when you first get in, there's a few things that are really important for trying to train a better Umamasume. So we start, our mood is normal. We want to be able to get our mood to great whenever we can help it. But every single thing in career mode is an opportunity cost. So it's like a cost-benefit analysis situation. So we go to training in the beginning. When you first start, you want to get your friendships up. So if you didn't already know, in every single one of these trainings, it randomly assigns your support cards to assist you in the training. And depending on the stats and things I talked about earlier in the video, mood effect and things, it'll determine how many stats that you get. So also the thing, like, okay, I'm training wit and there's a wit card right here, but until that friendship is high, the boost is not really that great from it. So at first, your main goal is to try to level these up, but you also are trying to make decisions based on the different setups here. So like, say for this character, I'm trying to train wit and speed to over 1,000. That's like the goal. Ideally 1,100 each, or ideally 1,200, but that's like almost impossible right now for my support cards I have. So if I have all these options, it's like, okay, stamina, not an option. Power, only has 1. I don't want to do it. Even though it has a hint, I don't want to do it unless I really have some reason to do it. So my choices are speed or wit, which is ideal for me. I want either one, right? So I have full energy, so I might as well start with speed to burn down some energy, because otherwise I'm kind of wasting on wit to get some energy back, but whatever. The other thing is, I know that during this career, and most careers have basically what's called a stamina check. Now, this character's stamina check's not as high. This character can get 150 stamina, maybe 200 stamina, and that's enough for the whole career. But I know that. So going forward, if, like, say the choice was right now to have 2 cards on wit or 2 cards on stamina, I might go for the stamina, even though it's not what I'm trying to build, because I'm looking for excuses just to do a few stamina trainings here and there throughout the career. I lose a turn for it, but I have to get it at some point if I'm not actually building stamina for a character. The other thing is, when there's only 2 and 2 like this in the beginning, that's also a chance to go, maybe I just do recreation. But recreation has a 65% chance to give you some energy back. So we're wasting potential there because we have full energy. So I would start off and I would train speed on the first turn. We're going to burn down some energy. And then from there, we're going to look at training again. We're going to see what our options are. So we have all these options. And I mean, I could do guts and get the hint and whatever, but power and guts are the only ones that have 2. And I'm not looking to train these like ever in this career unless they actually have a really good option, like 3 or more of these in a single training, which I don't have right now. So now is my chance to be like, okay, I need that recreation. So I'm going to roll recreation. Unfortunately, I got the one that only gave me 1 mood up. I really want to get to great mood, but you know, if it takes 2 turns, it takes 2 turns. And then I don't remember which one of these options was which. I'm too busy making a video to even remember what was what. But so another thing is you can randomly get mood up from events, but it's a risk reward. Do I just wait and only take my smaller gains on these trainings from having a good mood, or do I kind of brute force my way into a great mood by doing recreation again at the earliest convenience? So right here we got 3 of these on power, so we do power because I'm really trying. You want to get those trainings up as soon as possible. So if you see 3, you pretty much always take that. And then also, you always want to restore energy with any option you can get. Anything you can do to restore energy is massive. So eventually you're going to learn all your trainees events, all your support cards events that you use, and eventually you'll always pick the ones that give you energy unless there's some reason not to. Now here's one we got 4 of these. This is great. We're going to go with 4 of these. That's ideal. Like basically we're down to luck. So now where luck comes in, like I was talking earlier in the video, there's not much you can do if you get unlucky. So, like, I've had runs before where I'm in the first 10 turns, I've never had more than 2 of the support cards in the same training session. And when that happens, there's, like, nothing you can do about it, basically. It's just a bad run, and you go next. The other thing is we have failure rate, so we have to manage energy. And generally, if the run, like, or if the failure rate is higher than like 10% or so, you don't want to do it. And even though the reward's really juicy, but sometimes you just take the chance, especially like right now, say, I'm early on. If this went terrible, if I really cared long term, I could just say screw it and give up and start over if this really goes bad early. You just don't want to be like halfway through a run and then be like having a really good run and then fail and mess everything up. The mood goes down. It takes a turn to get the mood back. And you missed a turn on the training, and then maybe you end up, you have to go to the infirmary too, and like it could lose like 3 to 4 turns, and you could not get your A rank or whatever you're trying to get. In my case, screw it. It's early game. We'll go for it. I got lucky, got success. What a miracle. Okay, you generally don't want to avoid doing that, but sometimes you just go for it. It's up to you. You want to avoid resting as much as possible, but it's not always an option. Like even here, I could try to do wit to get some of this back, but since these guys don't have friendship bonus, I'm only going to get like the base wit plus the 2+2 or whatever. Once wit ones have friendship status though, it like doubles your energy gains, and then wit training is actually kind of nice if you are going for that with your strategy. But yeah, you got to try to manage rest, manage wit, manage all these different things, and it's all coming down to luck, plus trying to min-max your choices based on the options that you are given. Like, holy crap, look at that wit. That's so good. So as we keep progressing, the main thing here, since I'm trying to build wit and speed, any excuse I can get to train wit or speed, I go for that because it'll level up the training, which will give us additional bonus % on these. You want to get them both to level 4 and 5 and stuff before the end, obviously, so you can finish them off and try to get them over 1,000. Another trick that you can do for training for some characters, not this one, I don't need to do it, but for like Oguri Cap, for example, she has 2 long race stamina checks in her campaign or her career. And so what you could do theoretically is build out characters who have sparks for stamina. And then if you start a character with stamina sparks, but you're not even going for the stamina, then you for sure can just take 4 speed and 2 wit or whatever it is you're building and totally ignore stamina, even though the card needs stamina, if you can get enough stamina from spark. So that's like, there's like multiple ways you can go about strategizing this whole system and gaming the system to try to min-max the turns, get more stats in less turns, or get more turns to get more stats with. So I got my first card up to orange friendship, and you can see here, you already know this for a lot of you, and now I get the friendship bonus, and for wit, it actually like doubles how much energy I gain. So if you're going the wit route, that makes wit suddenly way better for just getting your stamina back and having to spend less turns resting. So, you know, friendship bonus is extremely important as early as you can possibly get it without, you know, going totally out of your way for it. Also, I cannot state enough how much luck is important, and you'll all have this happen, and you can lose runs to it, where it'll be like you're the #1 favorite to win. You know your stat spread is like 1.5 times better than all the competition, and then you do the race, and it just says like, oh, third, or it'll be like, oh, you got in 16th place, even though you were the #1 favorite, had double the stats of everybody. Like, that can actually happen no matter what. So if you have alarm clocks, use them very sparingly. Like, only use them if you are on a good run and the game literally just screws you because it's like you rolled the 0.01% chance to just get 16th place with like 1200 speed, 800 stamina or something like that. Another huge part of the career training is summer vacation. It starts at late June, I think, or whatever. You get 4 turns. Some lady in green will warn you about it 2 weeks in advance. So try to make sure you have energy at the beginning of it, because if you get lucky here with a bunch of friendship bonuses, you get some crazy stats, especially the speed and stamina and stuff. Wit, not so much, but I mean, you can get ones where it's like, if I had all 3 on here, even wit, it'd be like almost plus 50 wit, and then like plus like 15 speed. So if you get a really lucky summer, that can literally be the luck you need to get an A rank instead of a B+, because it's possible you get 2 summers per career, and if both of them you get really lucky, you could end up with like plus 400 total stats just from the 2 summers. And that can literally change your whole run. Another really important thing when training is the skills, obviously, but just some things to know. You only want to get the skills that are applicable to what you're going to be doing, or else they won't activate. So like this character only does sprints, mile runs, and then the universal ones are nice, but they usually cost more. And then there's ones up here, the green ones. Sometimes these green ones are lifesavers, but these are kind of get out of jail free cards for some of these, like the rainy days, for example. You can literally go back, go to your race day, and if you think, oh no, this is the critical race that I don't know if I'm going to be able to win or not, you can click race and be like, what's the weather? And I'm like, darn it, it's not rainy. Okay, if it was rainy and I felt like my stats weren't good enough to do it, I'd be like, oh, it's rainy, go here and buy double rainy, and then it makes me, you know, it's based as if I have more stats, I'm more likely to win. That's so you can use those as get out of jail free cards. But basically, all skills are for when you're trying to train a character is just to try to get through it, so that you can get your stats up for the rank that you want, or the sparks you're trying to get, or something like that. It's just trying to fill the gap. So remember earlier I was talking about luck, and there's nothing you can do about luck. So I was having a pretty good run, but I got some bad luck, so I wasn't really... Both my summers sucked terribly, so I missed out on that 400 stats I was talking about, which literally would have gotten me to, right now I'd be at like 1100 speed and like 1000 something wit at the very end here for the last few turns, but got unlucky. But then to double down on the bad luck, I was like, this is a good run. This might be the first A with this character. I got the mood down randomly and got a migraine, and then the next turn, because I had to race that turn, so I couldn't even deal with it. I had to race. Then on that next turn, I got the slacker debuff. So now if I wanted to fix it, I'd have to spend 2 turns in the infirmary and like 3 turns doing recreation. This run shot. There's nothing I could do. It's literally over at the last second. I just lost like 30 minutes of my life if my goal is to get an A. Now if my goal is to get the 2-star speed, there's still a chance I could get that, but there's nothing you can do about it. And like I said all throughout the video, luck, luck, luck. All you can do is try to min-max it to try to like give you the best shot possible. But it's just like doing a randomizer. It's like doing a Pokemon Iron Man or something. Like Iron Man, I mean, it's luck. You got to get the right run. You got to get the good run to actually get the rank up that you're looking for, the higher rank or whatever it is you're trying to get. And man, that damage is severe. I literally have like the best luck at the end here minus that. There's 3 for 3 of my characters for wit, and I'm only going to get 22 because of all that. If I didn't have any of those debuffs and I was in a great mood, this would be like plus 50 right here at the end. So again, you can just see how much luck is involved. And then because of the slacker trait, I literally didn't even get to train at all, so it was a complete waste. So I don't even get to train for the rest of the round. The stats I have now are the stats that I have for the end, unfortunately, on this round. So this round shot, well, it killed the run, and I got a B+. That actually would have been an A rank run if I would have had good summers and that thing wouldn't happen at the end. If that thing wouldn't happen at the end, it would have almost been an A rank run, actually, which is kind of crazy. But it would not have been ideal for PvP, which is the final point I'm going to make for this video when training. Okay, also, we got power 1, which was unlucky. So the thing is what are you doing this for? You have to be thinking strategy, overarching strategy. Are you trying to build PvP teams for team trials, or are you just trying to get A ranks and above on all characters just because, and you think it's fun, right? Like, what's your goal? If your goal is PvP, then what I just did was not good. That was really stupid, honestly. It's literally just to get an A rank, just to see an A rank. What you want to do, if you're trying to build out for team trials, is you want to build your characters. You want to be able to complete career mode with a build that's actually good for PvP. So we're going to edit team here, and you want characters like, I think this one, right? Look, this character. This one I built for PvP while I was doing career mode, and I got a good run, so I didn't get an A, but I almost got an A with it. And this one has 1,132 speed, 636 stamina, 657 power, and then 279 with 338 guts, whatever. Okay, the main thing for PvP is you want speed, stamina, power, and then maybe some wit. The guts, if you happen to get some, you get some, whatever, but it's basically a lesser stamina. The main thing is speed. You want speed max, like, no matter what. And then you want stamina to be at least 400 to 500, maybe 600, and then all the rest into power. And if somehow you can get 1200 on all 3, great, but that's like not possible right now in the game. But yeah, so that's the kind of spread that you want for PvP. And it also depends, is it going to, what position is it going to be in? Is it going to be the sprinter, or is it going to be the long, the medium, the mile, or whatever? If it's a long character, then you're probably going to want more stamina, which I haven't even built out stamina characters yet on this account. But yeah, if you're doing the long, then you'll instead want speed and stamina, with, you know, trying to compromise, but you're going to want to be chunkier on stamina. If it's the sprinter, though, you don't need as much stamina. You know, you just need like 250 to 400 stamina on the sprinter for PvP, and put the rest in speed and power. So you have to think, why are you training at all? So keep that in mind when doing any of this. But hopefully I was able to help you guys out. I know it's kind of a longer video. A lot of these videos always end up being longer, but hopefully that covered everything for you, whether you were newer. If you were already pretty advanced, you're probably really annoyed because I went into too many little details for you, but I just tried to cover this. No matter who you are, you were hopefully able to learn something, and if you're really kind of fresh, then you learned a lot. So hopefully helped you out, guys. Now you know how to train your trainees better, how to use your support cards, how to do all of that in Uma Musume Pretty Derby.